The untouchable True School Sports Empire. And y'all know the rest, man. I ain't gonna do no long-winded intro. I'm too tired for that. It's been a long day, a long fight week. Um, I got enough energy to do this. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give y'all the honest 2 hours of a live after the fight. This is in fact the immediate aftermath of William Zepeda and just an absolute volume punching masterclass against Lamont Roach. It's extra time with your BT, with your boy BT, overtime with your boy BT, the hardest working man in the boxing game, bringing you guys world class boxing content all fight week. While everybody's sleeping, we're still working, and that's why we are the home of boxing here on YouTube, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. So listen, man, great to be here. Great to be here with you guys. It was an absolutely exceptional, just masterclass of volume punching from Williams Pera. I was really impressed with just the little adjustments that he made for this fight. There were some subtle things that he did tweak that did trouble Lamont Roach and didn't allow Lamont Roach to get into his rhythm. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss, what's next for Lamont Roach, what's next for William Zepeda, what's next for just the lightweight division in the sport of boxing and all that stuff. And yeah, and I'll be here to take your guys' questions. If you guys got anything you want to add, feel free to do that. Definitely hit the like button, subscribe, super chat. We're here, and I hope you guys enjoy the content from the interviews we've gotten the whole week and things like that. And yeah, we definitely been putting in that work. So hopefully it's appreciated. But nonetheless, man, and my apologies, guys. I showed up like 25 minutes late to my own live, which is crazy. I had to eat, I had to get back home from the fight. So my apologies for that. But I'm glad you guys are here with me, and yeah, I'm looking forward to talking with you guys and trying to make sense of what we just saw. So let me see. Shout out to my man Josh. He says Dylan Capetillo and Lamont Roach got, and I can't yell right now, but they got exposed. Now, I don't think Lamont Roach got exposed because Lamont Roach he fought how he always fights. It's just that he had a guy that stylistically was not a good matchup for him. And as far as Capetillo, the kid is like 17 years old. He doesn't even have 5 pro fights. He did get exposed, but he's still at an age where, like many fighters who have lost early in their career, he come back. So there's no need to throw salt on the wounds and talk bad about the kid. But yeah, he lost to a guy he shouldn't have lost to. And I do think Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar were putting a little bit too much on him so early, right? But that's just me. J-No's boxing, Roach's performance was pitiful. A lot of y'all saying Tank. A lot of people making this about Tank. They're saying Tank got exposed because Roach beat Tank in most of our eyes, and Zepeda just beat Roach comfortably. But listen, my thing is this: if you're gonna say Lamont Roach got exposed, make sure you also say that Isak Pitbull Cruz got exposed because he didn't beat Lamont Roach either. They both got draws. So let's call it right. If Tank got exposed, it means Isak Cruz got exposed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here. What's up, Josh? Talk to me, champ. Is there a full Mauricio Suleiman interview? No. I just when I asked Mauricio Suleiman those questions, they were just specifically for YouTube Shorts. I didn't do a full interview. It was part of the media scrum. Sean Zattel, listen, shout out to my boy Sean Zattel, that's my guy. He was asking all the questions I wanted to ask, and he got them out before I did. So I just asked him my 2 little questions, and that was it. I didn't shoot the whole interview, but I did put up some shorts. So no, there's not a full interview. If you're asking for more, no, there's not. Kyoto, shout out to my man Kyoto. He says in as usual, uninspired performance from Ray and Roach. Can't believe he couldn't deal with Tarver's leftovers, but I wasn't surprised considering he couldn't deal with Pitbull's either. I mean, Ray and Murataya, listen, guys. I don't want to talk too much about Ray and Murataya because you guys know that like he's just there. I don't really care that much about Ray and Murataya. I think he's a good fighter, of course, but nothing special. Always thought that. Been saying that. Conceição was at an advanced age. I thought the fight would go the distance. He didn't put him away. And this was more of like the Ram Murataya that we saw in the Zolani and Dengani Tevin Farmer fights. He won the fight, of course, but it wasn't anything special. And again, I reiterate, like, I don't like Raymond's a good fighter, but he's just not one of those guys that does it for me. Everybody out there, I feel like with all boxing fans, there are certain fighters of that I think the role of that a lot of you guys don't think anything of, and vice versa. And he's just one of them guys where it's like, okay, he's good, he's a quality champion, he can box, he can make adjustments, he's a good a pressure fighter at times, he's strong, but like just doesn't do it for me. Like, just doesn't do it for me. But you know what? I'm gonna get to you guys' comments in a second. Let me just give you guys my extended thoughts on the fight, because when I was there at the fights, and I'm giving you guys the ringside reaction, I like everything's moving 300 miles per hour. I gotta get that video up. I gotta run and get to do the Mason. I gotta run and get Williams Peta. I gotta run and do a lot of things. So now that things are quiet, it's been a couple hours now. I gotta say, man, I was really impressed with Williams Peta. Very, very impressed with Williams Peta. Um, and I watched this fight very stoically. And funny enough, I'll tell you guys a personal story. So, where they had me sitting in press row was such a bad seat, and I'm not being ungrateful. I'm just telling you guys the truth. Shout out to Golden Boy, Jay Merrick, all of them for letting me cover the fight. But like where they had me positioned in press row was literally behind this big ass TNT camera, so I couldn't even see 3/4 of the ring. So most of the night I had to leave my seat and go find somewhere to sit in the crowd or stand. And for the main event, I decided to stand near the press row area by the steps, and I had my headphones in, so nobody would bother me. Nobody would talk to me, and I was able to watch this fight very stoically, and just really, I was really locked into what Zepeda and Roach were both doing, and you know, both guys I thought did what I thought they would do, but Zepeda, and I gotta give a lot of credit to William Zepeda and his coach Panda. William Zepeda and Panda, they came in with a great game plan, because Roach was definitely expecting, the stereotypical front foot dominant Mexican volume puncher to come forward, and Roach was going to sit on that back foot and look for hard concussive counter shots that were going to hurt Williams Peta and get his respect and push him back. And what Zepeda had in his back pocket was this little adjustment that he made, and the adjustment that he made, and the little tweak that he made to his style was that he actually was doing these little stutter steps, and he was doing a lot of feinting, and he was also beating Lamont Roach to the jab very, very often, working a nice volume jab in Lamont Roach's face. And so because of that, Lamont Roach couldn't really get a rhythm to counterpunch. He couldn't get a rhythm to really sit down on his shots. And it allowed Zepeda to control when the exchanges were led and when they finished, and be the volume puncher going downhill on them. So very well executed game plan. I would even go as far as to say it was a masterclass in volume punching, because um, this was looked at by many to be a 50-50 fight going in, as 50-50 as it could get. And as the fight wore on, class was telling itself over time. I thought I scored the fight 116-112 for Williams Peta, but I really thought it could have easily have been 117-111. I think there was probably a round where I was a little generous and gave Lamar Roach a round, just be generous. So 116-112, 117-111. I feel like those are the correct scorecards. And yeah, Williams Peta shows the world that he is one of boxing's premier volume punchers. And one thing about Lamont is and I've already talked to a couple people in the media about the fight, and some people are saying, well, like Williams Peta was on steroids. How could he throw so much punches? How could he keep coming forward? And I'm just like, look, man, he's a Mexican volume puncher who trains in 7,000 plus altitude in Mexico City. All right, he is what he is, and Lamont Roach is what he is. And if you watch both fighters, this fight really, this fight playing out like this shouldn't surprise you. The only thing that should surprise you is how William Zepeda was leading the exchanges and breaking Lamont Roach's rhythm. That's really the only surprise here. But as far as the volume of Zepeda troubling Roach, that's not surprising. As far as Roach not being able to punch hard enough to keep Williams Zepeda off of him, that should be surprising. As far as Roach holding his feet and exchanging in the pocket, that shouldn't be surprising either. Listen, guys, I didn't just start watching Lamont Roach when he fought Tank, when he fought Hector Garcia. I've been watching Lamont Roach since, like, I'm talking about, like, I covered, forget watching him, I covered Lamont Roach's fights when he fought Rene Alvarado in 2021 on the Unias Gonzalez Zota Ramirez undercard. Okay, so I've been watching Lamar Roach for a long time, and Lamar Roach is crafty. He's strong. He's tough. But Lamar Roach has never been a big puncher. Even when he fought Feargal McCroy, after he won the title against Garcia, he had a defense against Feargal McCroy, the Irishman, and he beat him like he beat him from pillar to post, but it took him rounds to break down McCroy. It was one-way traffic. It wasn't a hard fight for him. It was one-way traffic, and it still took him many rounds to break down Fergal McCroy. So my thing is, if you were hitting McCroy with a kitchen sink and it was to no avail, how are you gonna do anything with Williams Pit? I mean, it's just common sense. I know boxing. I know that math doesn't always work out, but if you look at Lamont Roach and the way he punches versus the way Williams Pita punches, like in terms of mechanics and the way they deliver their shots, it shouldn't be a surprise that the volume of Williams Payne to troll Lamont Roach. And I've talked to a couple of people in the media, which I will not name, that are like dumbfounded that this happened. I'm like, how? How are you dumbfounded? Like, but that's neither here nor there. I'm very impressed with Williams Payne. I did pick him to win the fight, and you know, but even with me picking him to win the fight, he far exceeded my expectations, and I gotta tell you, I was impressed. I wouldn't say I was impressed. I get impressed too often like this, but I was just really impressed with Williams Peta. Not because he won, not because of the amount of volume he threw. It's just so much. It's just the IQ of him and his coach. And I know people won't associate Zepeda and IQ together, but you got to, because the reason he won this fight was IQ. It was the way he went about attacking Lamont Roach that broke his rhythm, and why Lamont Roach could not get into a sustained rhythm in this fight. It's why Lamont Roach didn't know when to sit down on his punches and when not to sit down his punches. He didn't know when to lead the exchange or counterpunch most of the fight because of the movement of Zepeda, the cadence of Zepeda, the way he was feinting and stutter stepping him. He just couldn't deal with that over a long, sustained period of time. So really impressed with him, and obviously, like, he's now the champion. So congrats to him. That's how you win your first world title, and that now opens up a whole truckload of really interesting fights for him against like Abdullah Mason, who was there, who I had a chance to speak to, and he's obviously very excited about that fight. Um, all kinds of fights. Much to most of your guys' annoyance, I did ask him about the Shakur Stevenson rematch, because it's not like Shakur Stevenson is fighting O'Shaquie Foster, Devin Haney. Like, Shakur ain't really doing shit right now. He's just chilling, in Japan, which I'm kind of jealous. I wish I was chilling in Japan, but he's just chilling in Japan, having a great time right now, and not fighting with O'Shaquie Foster and Devin Haney. So therefore, I asked him this question. I asked Zepeda about the Shakur rematch, because Shakur was talking about before this fight, that if Lamont Roach won, he wanted to fight Lamont Roach for the WBC title. But Lamont Roach did not win. He lost to Williams Peta. So therefore, I asked him about Williams Peta, right? And of course, Peta said he's open to it. He would like to fight, whether it's at 135 or 140, So, there's that. And that's how you win a world title. So, yeah, overall, I can't say anything bad about him. I can't say anything bad about the performance. It's actually probably one of the more enjoyable performances I've seen all year from a fighter, just because of the intelligence and the aggressiveness and things like that. But anyway, let me get us some comments here. All right. Micro Drac 26 says, why is Sean saying Tank stock drops when Edwin got knocked out by Ryo and Murataya beat Conceição? I can't speak for another man, and it's 1:21 a.m. in the morning. I don't have time to think on that level as far as, playing the triangle theory. All I know is Williams Peta did his damn thing tonight. That's what I can tell you. My man right here says styles make fights, and I think Zepeda made a lot of improvements since he fought Shakur. I mean, yeah. I mean, when you lose a fight and you fight a great fighter like Shakur Stevenson, make no mistake about it. I will say many things that are kind of demeaning of Shakur Stevenson right now, because he don't want to fight O'Shaquie Foster. He don't want to fight Devin Haney. He's acting like a diva. That's the proper word. He's acting like a diva. But Shakur Stevenson is a damn great talent, and I'll never say he's not that. But yeah, I think Zepeda made a lot of improvements. I think he understood and Panda understood that when you're fighting these real crafty fighters, um, in not just Lamont Roach, but like any fighter at the top level, you're gonna have to make certain adjustments to break the rhythm because when they fight you, they're gonna say, okay, well this guy's Mexican fighter, Mexican style. He's gonna come forward. He's gonna throw a lot of punches. So if you give that to them, they're gonna sit back and look to counter. And but if you feint, if you beat these guys to positioning and get your jab off first consistently, if you stutter step and break the rhythm and feint and change the cadence of your punches and rhythm and things like that, you can put them in a position where now you're in control. You're dictating the action. You're the ring general, and that's what happened. That's what took place, and that's what I'm impressed with the most from the fight. Yeah, man, it was a volume punching clinic. I can't hate on it. Dana White is being exposed as the promoter with the reality of how much competition that have the money to compete in boxing. Do you agree with this, BT? Dana White is being exposed. I'm not really sure I understand that. Dana White is being exposed as the promoter with the reality of having competition. Dana White, all I'll say is, look, Dana White has work to do. He just got here, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Dana White moving forward. Joel says Zepeda versus Mason is the new Mason versus. Listen, no, 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 no. Let's not get carried away. Like, let's not get carried away here. Williams Pereira versus Abdullah Mason is a great fight, and it's actually probably one of the best fights in boxing, in my opinion. But no, no, nothing in the lightweight division. And I'm gonna bang the drum for this, even if I'm alone. Abdullah Mason, and you know what's crazy? I just seen Abdullah Mason. I seen him like 2 or 3 times today. I should have asked him about Alan Chavez if he knew about Alan Chavez, but I guess I'll keep that one on the host for next time. I should have asked him about Alan Chavez, but that's the fight for me. I don't want to hear about no other fights. Have I been to Tokyo before? And if so, how was it? Where? Yes. Have I been to Tokyo? I've been to Tokyo 3 times. It was exceptional. It's the best place, arguably the greatest city in the world. Can't wait to go back. I think he was just outgunned. Lamont Roach did not know how to make this fight easy on himself. He didn't know how to fight at a distance. He didn't know how to keep Zepeda from closing the gap on him. And again, if you're fighting a guy like Zepeda, you're gonna have to know how to close the gap on him. If you don't know how to close the gap on him, you're not gonna win. If you don't know how to prevent him from doing that for long enough, you're not gonna win because he just throws too many punches. He's too well conditioned. He's too consistent throughout the rounds. You understand? And by the way, shout out to all 40 of you guys here that are joining me. Have seen more people have joined in since I started talking in the last 5 to 10 minutes. So hey, make sure you smash the like button. Definitely take the time to subscribe. It is extra time with your boy BT, overtime with your boy BT, and encore with your boy BT. And this is the immediate aftermath of Zepeda versus Roach. Zepeda is your new WBC lightweight champion, and shit, the world is his right now. He's got a lot of interesting options in the division, and we're trying to make sense of everything that happened. So thank you for joining us. If you just got here. Roach didn't use his jab. He didn't have anything to answer the pressure. No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, and a lot of it too, like with Roach, what I've noticed in the past, but definitely in this fight, is there was a lot of weight on his front foot. And, because his balance to me in this fight wasn't the greatest. And when you're fighting a guy who stays on top of you, balance is of the utmost important. Balance is what's going to help you get in and out of range, pivot, do those things. And I just saw Roach in a high guard, with more weight on the front foot than the back. Um, he just kind of ran out of ideas. Bad matchup for him. Yeah, yeah. BT after dark. Yeah. Would I say Tokyo is better than New York City? Oh, without a question. Without a question, in my opinion. That's not. It's not even close. But New York is great. I like New York. I got love for New York. But Tokyo, listen, man, I'm from like Tokyo is, like I said, it's in the running for the best city in the world. Like I love it. The other problem is that Lamont Roach didn't land the body often and try to cut Zepeda's gas tank. I think he tried. I think he tried and he had some success. Like he had some success. I seen it. I seen him really sit down on some shots and he would land, but it just wasn't doing anything to Zepeda. And I feel like Zepeda made up his mind tonight. He said, you know what? I've been fighting for a long time. And I've been training very, very hard for a long time. And this guy's a good fighter, but tonight is my night. And sometimes, many times in boxing and in life itself, it's all about decisions. Like right now, like take this live for example. Do I want to necessarily go live right now? No, but I have a responsibility, to the viewers and to myself and to this channel. I say, you know what? When these major fights are done, I'm gonna go live and talk about them. So I made a decision to come on here. And that's what Lamont Roach did with Zepeda did with this fight. He made a decision that tonight he was not going to be denied. Mason smokes Zepeda. Zepeda never fought a power puncher. That is true. There's truth in that. Zepeda never fought anybody who punches to the level of Abdullah Mason. I would agree with that, but Abdullah Mason ain't never fought no damn volume puncher like Zepeda. And to be fair, you really can't find no volume puncher like Zepeda. He's probably he's in the discussion, in my opinion, for the best volume puncher in boxing. I mean, he fought Shakur Stevenson, made him very uncomfortable. Probably won about 4 rounds off of him. Then he went in for Lamont Roach, the guy that Pitbull Cruz could not beat, the guy that Tank could not beat, and beat him clearly. So he's doing his thing. Also, one thing people underestimate about Zepeda is that he's deceptively long, and on top of that, he's got more craft than people give him credit for. Lamont Roach did not lose this fight tonight because of Zepeda's volume punching. The main reason he lost this fight tonight was because of Zepeda's craft, his ability to break his rhythm. You understand? Does cutting off the ring and body work investments beat Shakur? It could be anybody, but you got to do it very consistently, and it's hard to do with a guy like Shakur because Shakur Stevenson is such a master of distance, and his ring awareness is second to none. He knows every little quadrant of the ring. He knows every little millimeter of the ring. He knows how far you are from him. He knows all that stuff. So, of course it works, but you're gonna have to fight the fight of your life. And like, don't get it twisted. Zepeda fought very well against Shakur Stevenson, but it just wasn't enough. There's another level of execution he needs to win that kind of a fight. Roach said that they thought Zepeda was a one-trick pony. He admitted he underestimated his skill set. The worst thing any fighter could do. He literally said that standing in the ring. Yeah, I couldn't really hear what Lamont Roach was saying in the ring because the audio at the Virgin Hotel was trash. So I cut my post-fight video early because of that reason. But I mean, look, man, I try to tell everybody this. I don't. When it comes to like championship level boxing, I don't listen to boxing fans. Like, because boxing fans say everybody sucks, nobody's good. I even told us to Angelo Leo when we were in camp. I said, look, anybody who's in the top 15 or anybody who's a world champion, everyone at this level is good. And when you're at the championship level, the smallest adjustment makes all the difference. So, example, tonight, like I've already said 10,000 times in this live early on in the first 25 minutes, the one adjustment Zepeda made was that he wasn't going to initiate the exchanges coming in a straight line. He was gonna feint. He was going to stutter step. He was going to just do those kind of things so that Lamont Roach could not pick up on his timing and his cadence and counterpunch, because Lamont was looking to counterpunch. Lamont was looking to sit down on his punches and push this guy back, and he could not do that because he did not know when this guy was going to initiate. And the thing is, when this guy did initiate and did close the gap, Lamont was guessing damn near the whole fight. And when this guy closed the gap, then he ran the numbers on his ass just like that. So you can't underestimate anybody's skill set at the top level. You understand? You can't do that. You can't. Everyone is good. Shakur really tried to say that Lamont him should fight to settle who was the best at 135. Yeah, and the guy that he beat, which he could say, well, this proves I'm the best 135, but nah, you was talking about fighting. You was talking about fighting Lamont Roach. So why don't you rematch the guy that beat Lamont Roach? Since you're not doing what you said you were gonna do, you're not being a man of your word in fighting Oshaki Foster. You're not being a man of your word in fighting Devin Haney. And so we're only asking you this. I'm only bringing this up because you're not being a man of your word with the fights the fans do want to see. So since you don't want to get the fights the fans want to see, why don't you go fight the guy that you were saying, you know, you were saying Lamar Roach you'd fight him, but he lost. Abdullah Mason is my favorite young boxer, well spoken, poised, professional, and all about the smoke. Yeah, shout out to Abdullah Mason, man. I got a lot of love for him and his entire family. I had a chance to actually, funny enough, so during the Raul Coriel Quentin Randall fight, I got hungry and I left the venue and I went to get some snacks. And I went to the Dunkin' Donuts inside the Virgin Hotel and I got me a donut just to hold me over for a little bit while I was running around because I was hungry. And while I was eating my donut, I saw the Mason family walk into the venue. And I talked to Abdullah a bit. He was in very good spirits, and talked to his brother Amir, who's a good friend of mine. Amir Mason is probably the Mason brother I am the most close to of the whole family. And yeah, a very professional young man. Definitely, as we've seen in his career, willing to take on good competition, give you guys great fights, and yeah. Funny enough, Amir Mason asked me tonight. He was like, he was asking me, when are you gonna take us to Japan, BT? We want to go to Japan. So maybe on this next Japan trip at the end of the year, I might have to set up some sparring for the Masons out in Japan. What do you guys think? Should the Masons go spar some 135s, 140s, 147s in Japan? Because I'm sure I can set it up. I know people. A lot of these analysts confusing BT. Kept hearing them say because he fought good against Tank, he'll show levels against Zepeda. That's not how this works. That's not like guys. That's not how boxing works. Just because one fighter had a great performance against a fighter with a big name doesn't mean that he automatically is going to perform against a fighter with less of a big name. That's why, like when I hear certain triangle theories get thrown out there, I automatically say, y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Now, if you think that fighter's going to win because of the style and you can break it down, cool. But don't do math. This ain't math class, and I'm sure a lot of you in this chat failed math class. You understand? So like, you can't do math in boxing. If you want to go do math, go work on Wall Street. Go be a finance guy. Nah, he's got a lot of dimensions tonight, and I was impressed. Like I said, for me, this calendar year of 2026, the William Zepeda was one of this performance to me was one of the most impressive performances. Not because he won 9 rounds or 3 or 8 rounds before and beat Lamont Roach. No, it's just the wrinkles, the things he showed that allowed him to be so effective offensively. Very impressive. Nah, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Abdullah Mason reminds me of a bigger Shushu Carrington. No, stop it. I mean, Bruce is a good fighter. He's a champion, but there's levels to this man. Abdullah has a much higher ceiling than Bruce Carrington. I'll tell you that right now. With all due respect to Bruce, like, I mean, I'm not gonna fly all the miles to Japan. I can barely fly myself out to Japan. But as far as getting them sparring in the gyms and things like that, I mean, I know plenty of gyms and plenty of fighters in Japan, so that'd be easy to do. I've set up sparring for the Masons before. The Masons came down to South Florida in 2022, and I set up sparring for them in 2022 when they came down. So I mean, why not do it internationally? I got love for those guys. My man Osiris in the building. What's up, champ? We're just doing a little overtime with BT. BT in the AM, the aftermath. Giving you guys the honest 2 hours, like I told you. Might not be 2 hours. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna push it 2 hours, but if it can't be 2 hours, it can't be 2 hours. But good to see you, champ. He said, so Shakur beat the guy who beat the guy who beat Tank. That's the right. Yeah, that's the rectangle theory. That's the damn octagon theory, the octopus theory. That's crazy. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, you gotta give credit. you gotta get credit where credit is due. You do. You gotta get credit where credit is due, man. This shit is hard. These training camps are hard, and it's difficult when you have the boxing world watching you perform to execute what you did against another opponent who's at a high level. And when you see it done, when you see a fighter self actualize something in the ring, you just give him his due, man. Lamont Roach is a very good fighter. Is he a great fighter? I don't think he's a great fighter, but I think he's a quality fighter. He fought guys that people had a high opinion of. Like people have a high opinion of Tank. People have a high opinion of Pitbull, and they didn't beat him clearly. They both got a draw against him, so it says something about him. And he's been a world champion before, so shit. I mean, for Zepeda to beat him clearer than some of the biggest names in boxing, I think that's to me that's a statement. You know, we always say that phrase in boxing: you got to make a statement. And that's normally about knocking somebody out, but you can make a statement without knocking somebody out. And I thought he made a big statement tonight to the world of boxing that, hey, William Camarón Zepeda is not just a flat-footed, downhill, front foot dominant Mexican pressure fighter. No, no, no. This guy got dimension. This guy got craft. This guy can do some things in there. So give him his due, man. Are we calling Zepeda elite now? I mean, do you consider Shakur Stevenson elite? I mean, he gave Shakur Stevenson a pretty damn tough fight. And Lamont Roach fought guys that you people think are elite, and they didn't beat Lamont Roach, but you know who did? Williams Zepeda. So I mean, it's a conversation we could have. You know, I don't think it's a crazy conversation to have. I'm not sitting here saying that he is elite, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that it'd be crazy if you said he wasn't elite. Like, and you know what? Every time I hear people say things about elite, y'all think elite only means it's one style. Y'all want all the fighters that are elite to fight like Devin Haney and fucking Richard Hitchinson, whatever his name is. Like you want that, like you think that's elite, like that style, just the long rangy outside style, the slick style. But elite comes in many forms and fashions. There's many different ways to skin a cat, and when it comes to the volume punching aspect of boxing, you're not gonna tell me that whole Williams Peta isn't elite. He is elite at that. Listen, Shakur Stevenson, you know, you know how many you know how hard it is to get Shakur Stevenson to just sit there in the pocket with you and make him uncomfortable. It's probably the hardest thing to do in boxing right now is make Shakur Stevenson legitimately uncomfortable as a fighter. He's one of the only fighters we've seen make Shakur Stevenson uncomfortable. So I, I think he's pretty damn good. He doesn't want to answer that Tank versus Pitta question. Why would I talk about a fighter that's retired that doesn't have the ambition to be a greater fight again? Y'all want me to talk about Tank, who I like. I like Tank, but who would win? I don't know. Maybe Tank would win. Maybe Zepeda would win. We don't know. Is Tank gonna fight Zepeda? No. So what's the point of talking about it? Above elite is pound for pound, generational great and all time. I hate. I'm not gonna lie to you. If there's one terminology that I really hate in boxing, like I'm talking about hate with like a seething red passion, it's the term generational talent. I hate that shit, bro. Because every time somebody has like a one great performance, we start hearing that term get thrown out there, generational talent. Like, nah, man. I think that term is so abused. And a lot of guys that you people say are generational talents are not that. So Tank has never fought for a real bet at 135. I doubt he start. That's what I'm saying. Like, you really think Tank Davis would even fight Williams Petta? No. Like, there's nothing in Tank's whole career that would suggest that he fights Williams Petta. First of all, Williams Petta is not going to generate him all this money. Two, it's a hard fight. Three, he's not, as small as Hugo Ruiz or Jesus Cuellar, so he's not going to fight those guys. It's not always the best fighter that wins. It's the best fighter on that night that wins. That's all that matters. All that best fighter shit don't matter. It's all about who has the composure to actually execute and be disciplined to their game plan on that night. Everything else for the birds. Roach just struggles with pressure fighters out of Zepeda, Pitbull, and Tank. His best performance was Tank. I mean, Roach's first loss wasn't to Lamont Roach's first professional loss of his career wasn't to a pressure fighter; it was to a boxer. He got outboxed by Jamal Herring. So Roach has struggled with quite a few styles, throughout his career. You want to just keep it 1,000. But yeah, guys, I want to kind of just run through the rest of the card while I'm sitting here. I want to run through the rest of the card, give some of my thoughts about the rest of the card because there was more than just Zepeda. Shout out to Zepeda. If y'all got any questions about Zepeda or Shakur or the 135 division, feel free to, get that in the chat. I appreciate everybody joining me wherever you're at in the world. Let me know what city, what state, what continent you're in right now. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada right now, the fight capital of the world. Right now we're doing this live off of muscle memory. Like right now, I'm really like tired. But who cares? Who cares? We're here for the boxing fans. We're here for the fight game, and we're here to talk that world class boxing talk. So we had Raymond Murataya, who, again, let's just skip Raymond, man. Like, cause Raymond is Raymond, man. Raymond's gonna do what he does. Like Raymond, he's kind of mid. I'm sorry. Like I'm trying not to be mean. Like this, Raymond is so mid, guys. Like I know Conte was big and he's rugged and he's a gold medalist. I understand those things, but like, man, you just beat Andy Cruz. You just fought your ass off against Andy Cruz, and then you fight the corpse of this guy, and you just look mid again. Like, so he's gonna go to 140 now. Maybe he'll be better at 140 because he'll retain more strength. But man, the thing is, at 140, he's not gonna be as big compared to his compared to the opponent. So I don't know. I remember a time might actually struggle up there. You know. And in hindsight, even though a lot of people, myself included, picked Andy Cruz to beat him, Andy Cruz was smaller than him, and Andy Cruz just couldn't take the aggressiveness of Raymond. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, like, when people go on and on about Raymond Murataya and how he's like this and he's that, like, he's a good fighter. He's a quality fighter. I won't take that from him. He's proven that much. But like, people be telling me like Raymond's a special fighter, and I just don't see it. Like, I'm waiting to see it. And he fought well against Cruz, but it's like, bro, show me some consistency. Like, yeah, you won, but it was mid. Anyway, that wasn't all we had on the card. We had Charles Conwell came back with a good stoppage of Paul Crow. I actually had a chance to talk to Eric Gomez from Golden Boy, the president of Golden Boy, and he pretty much stated in our interview that Charles Conwell is being highly targeted as Virgil Ortiz's next opponent, and now that Charles Conwell handled business, that's probably gonna be next. But yeah, he did his thing against Paul Crow. Paul Crow is a skillful boxer, but Paul Crow just didn't have enough firepower to deal with Charles Conwell, a pissed off Charles Conwell trying to remind the world of who he is. And then Quentin Randall had the normal Quentin Randall type fight, a very professional fight, awkward fight, disciplined fight against Raul Curiel. Again, another kind of like mid, fighter. Curiel couldn't do anything with the range of Quentin Randall. A lot of people actually, I've been seeing a lot of people say that they feel Quentin Randall really won this fight and he was hard done by the judges and shit. Honestly, they should have just gave it to him, man. I'm tired of Raul Curiel. Raul Curiel, I remember when Raul Curiel, I covered his fight in 2021 when he fought Kendo Tremendo Castaneda on the Zordo Uniesi Gonzalez undercard. And there was a lot of like hoopla in the Golden Boy stable about this Raul Curiel kid 5 years ago. And as his career has progressed, he hasn't really progressed to the level that, I'm sure they've wanted him to, or maybe even me back then. But man, he is like, bro. I know Quinn Randall's a difficult style to look good against. No, like nobody looked good against Quinn Randall. Like Brian Oman Jr., who was a champion and a very good fighter. He didn't even look good against Quinn Randall. But man, this is like Raul Cordial can't put together like a good performance anymore. It's crazy. So I mean, we'll see what happens with him. But he got a W, and I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. When it comes to like Joel Iriarte and Fabian Guzman and Gael Cabrera and all those guys on prelims, I didn't even watch their. I mean, I didn't even pay attention to their fights because I was busy interviewing people and whatnot. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys on that. But they all won. The highlight of the whole prelims is probably Capetillo getting knocked out. Nobody saw that coming. That came from left field. Dylan Capetillo getting knocked the hell out in his third pro fight. So it's very interesting because Oscar was on Ariel Hawani talking about how this was his next big Mexican star. And the same week he says that, this kid gets parked. So we're gonna see if this is meant for him, if it's truly meant to be in the cards for him to be somebody in boxing. But yeah, it was cool. Another night in the office for True School Sports and BT. Shout out to Philly, and got Philadelphia in the building. Okay, shout out to Philly. Raymond operating with a 10-pound rehydration clause. He's so handicapped in all his fights. No, that's bullshit because before he won the title, there was no rehydration clause. When he was fighting Lonnie Endengeni and Tevin Farmer, he wasn't operating under a rehydration clause, and he looked mid as hell in those fights. That's why people think I hate Raymond Murtaya, because those fights happened, and I would say what they were, and they would say, "Oh, you're a hater," and it's like, bro, no, he just doesn't look like what he's advertising. And then he came back and he fought Andy Cruz, which I give him credit. He did his thing against Andy Cruz. It was a hell of a fight, but again, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew he was gonna fight Robinson Conceição, who's 37, and look mid again. I knew it. He won. He did his thing because Robinson, fights how he fights, but it wasn't the performance I was looking for. So we'll see if he can be better at 40. Oh no, I'm not. Listen, I'm not writing off Capetillo. I'm not. He's 17 years old. When you're that age, you're still trying to figure yourself out as a man, as a young man, a young adult, let alone a young fighter. So, of course, he can come back and be better, but um, whenever a fighter gets knocked out for the first time, that's always going to test. How much do you really want it? How bad do you want to be great? How much do you want to continue to put into the sport? Like some fighters get knocked out, it motivates them. They go to another level spiritually, physically, mentally, and they become better because of it. Some fighters get knocked out, and for the rest of their career, they go gun shy. They don't throw as many punches. They put their hands in their pockets. Look at a guy like I was watching the other night with my boy Sean Zattel, Hector Camacho, right? Hector Camacho, blazing fast hand speed, great fighter, you know, gets knocked out, and then after he gets knocked out, never really was that same fighter ever again. Every fighter responds to a knockout loss differently. So I'm saying that to say that we're gonna see how Dylan Capetillo responds to this. And losing isn't a bad thing, like Diamond Dallas Page said. Losing isn't a bad thing; it's a good thing. It can be a good thing if you respond to it the proper way and don't lose your gusto to be great, and don't become gun shy in the ring, which is easier said than done because a lot of boxing is up here, man. Much of it is up here in the conscious and the subconscious. My man said the Shavengers are imploding from the inside. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, Shakur is running out of brothers to send on these like suicide missions. So it is what it is. We got New Orleans in the house. Shout out to New Orleans. Cappuccino was a well, that's crazy. Yeah, so this is an upset of epic proportions. This kid got parked. Yeah, I thought it was pretty close. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if Quentin Randall got a decision in one of these kind of fights because he's always in these fights. You know, Quentin Randall's a real pro, professional, long, rangy, in shape, awkward. Just a really hard night of work for anybody. But he can never quite get over the hump. He don't throwing up sometimes. He don't punch the hardest. So the fights get close. But yeah, it's your boy BT, the untouchable True School Sports Empire, putting the finishing touches on what's been a very eventful fight week for me. A lot of interviews, a lot of running around. Um, Damn, I really pushed her hard this week. I'm proud of myself. Do I know Kyle Diesel? No, I do not call. I do not know Kyle Diesel. Go ahead and call Shakur a matchmaker. He is. He is. I mean, I'm not trying to put him down, but he is. He wanna pick weights and oh, it's a great fight. I was just talking to Gary Jonas actually today about that fight, and shout out to Gary Jonas, man. I've known Gary for a couple years now. I've seen him around in passing at his fights and things like that, and he's always shown me great respect. Him and Daniel Rubin. But today was probably the day where, like, it was the first time I ever sat down and I interviewed him, and then we talked for a little bit before and after the interview. And man, guy is brilliant, man. Great at what he does. What I talked to him about this fight. I love this fight. I love Abbas Bro versus Giovanni Santillan. I think it's a great crossroads fight. I think stylistically, it's going to be the kind of fight that Pro Box TV likes to deliver on. All action fight. You got Abbas Bro with the real sharp, tight punches on the inside. You got Giovanni Santillan, a downhill Chicano fighter that loves to be in these really entertaining fights. Think about Roach versus him a couple years ago. I think it's a great fight. I think Abbas Bro probably wins that fight because he's bigger and stronger than Santillan and more experienced and crafty. But um, I think Santillan's gonna give it everything he's got. It's the last stand for him, and he's in San Diego, his hometown. You can't lose a home. Yes, trained Terry Norris, trained Golovkin. He's had success in the pros. Yep. I mean, that's actually what I'm more excited about is Fernando Lopez because a lot of these featherweights like Rafael Espinoza and Bruce Carrington, they had an opportunity to fight Fernando Lopez, and for whatever the case may be, they both chose to not fight him. And we're not talking about before Angelo knocked Fernando Lopez out. We're talking about significantly after Angelo knocked Fernando out. So you imagine you see Fernando get knocked out, and you get a chance to fight him, a former world champion, to really enhance your resume, and you don't fight him to fight someone lesser. Come on, man. What are we talking about? I don't know, man. I feel like he's gonna fight Rob Valenzuela. Like that just and Joel, I know you're in the chat. That just sounds very Zuffa. That sounds very Zuffa. That sounds very on brand, very Shakur. Like, to call everybody else out and then, go fight the guy that nobody wants to see you fight. Like, go fight fucking Toka Khan Clary. Correct. If you have, yeah, you said it. You said it, Josh. You said it. I mean, guys, we're gonna get that fight. We are going to get Shakur versus Brad. You may say, BT, why are we getting that fight? Because we didn't ask for it, and boxing loves to give us fights that we did not ask for. You know, and because it's Zuffa boxing, that makes it good because Max Kellerman is gonna cut all these ridiculous promos and all these ridiculous monologues about how great this fight is But in actuality, it's bullshit. You know, if you want to know the truth, don't come to True School Sports. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth, it is bullshit. There's Julian Rodriguez sitting out on the cut over at Zuba. Yeah, that's a good fight. Um, who could he fight? He could fight a lot of guys. Probably Hitchens. That's an option. You know, if Hitchens can't get Devin, or which I don't think he is. There you go. You took the words right out of my mouth. Julian versus Hitchens. Shakur fights anyone but black slick boxers like Floyd did. I mean, Floyd fought. I mean, I know he was older, but Floyd fought Zab Judah. Who has Shakur Stevenson fought on the equivalent of Zab Judah? One thing, guys. One thing that we're not gonna do, and I'm getting tired of people doing this, because every time something bad happens in boxing, people start talking bad about Floyd. Like, no, and people say, "Oh, Floyd ruined boxing." No, 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 no. Floyd Mayweather did not ruin boxing. Floyd showed a lot of these idiotic fighters how to believe in themselves and be great, and they missed all the parts where he would bet on himself and and um and show you guys that he was really like that. They only looked at the glamorous parts, the money, the jewelry, the cars, the women, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean he did, but like I said, I mean Jamel Herring's a good boxer, but Jamel Herring is not slick, and he's not comparable to even the Zab Judah that Floyd fought coming off the loss to Baltimore. Nope, Zab Judah better speed, better pedigree, punches harder. Um, no, and that's the same Jamel Herring that fought Dennis Shafikov, and he had like a 5 inch or more reach advantage over Dennis Shafikov, and Dennis Shafikov ran his ass out of the ring. So nah, I get what you're saying, but it's not the same thing, champ. So they gotta be black and slick. What's the point? Tio is slicker than most boxers. Shit, not anymore. He used to be. He stopped being slick. He stopped being slick. I'm not saying they gotta be black and slick. I'm just saying I didn't even make that point. That was somebody else in the chat that made that point. I don't do identity politics in life or in fucking boxing. That's why I don't. Like if I looked at boxing like how a lot of people think about boxing, I would have said, yeah, Lamont Roach is gonna beat Williams Peda, because Williams Peda ain't never fought a slick black American fighter, like that bullshit people like to say. But if you actually watch the fights and study the tapes, Lamont Roach is not slick. You know, people gotta stop doing that. People gotta stop saying that every black fighter is slick and that every Mexican's is a plotting come forward fighter. Because look, when you do that, then inevitably at some point you're gonna get fights like this where you get mind blown because guys fight differently than you think for different opponents in front of them. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm advocating that's the fight I'm advocating for. Rather that fight, Devin and Shakur are never gonna fight, guys. Yeah, Tio, I believe in his whole 140 campaign, his only stoppage was against Pedro Campa. That was his debut, and Pedro Campa, with all due respect, he is what he is. He's a guy that's supposed to get stopped. It's not about being black and slick. Shakur and Keisha like fighting people they have more resources than and better gym and sparring. I mean, I don't want to say that stuff doesn't matter, because it does matter. Definitely does matter. Especially the sparring part. I mean, the gyms and you know the resources. Sparring partners can fall on the resources, so I won't say that. But the sparring partner thing is the main thing that matters. Sparring is everything when you're preparing for a fight. Um, But at the end of the day, the better fighter is going to win. The guy that's meant to win is going to win. You understand? So they just like fighting guys they got a big advantage over for whatever the case may be. It could be a skills thing. It could be the reasons you said. I don't respect it. That's why, like, I'm not a hater, but when it comes to that whole Shakur camp, like, I'm to that point now where if you're part of that camp, you gotta lose. You gotta lose. So when Raymond Ford lost, I wasn't sad about it. When any of these guys don't win, I'm not gonna be sad about it because the culture they're bringing to boxing, as far as the friend, buddy, brother shit, and then them ducking fights and being coddled diva. I'm not with all that, man. Oh my god, trust me, it does. It does. People, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've been part of world title training camps. I've seen it. I know it's pricey on a fighter, but when you're a top level fighter, those are investments that you got to make into yourself to be great. You want to beat great fighters. You want to be prepared to beat great fighters. You better bring in some great help and pay that great help to help your ass out. He says that's cool, but Shakur got more options than anyone in the game. Yeah, he's gonna fight the wackest one of them all. He's gonna fight Raul Valenzuela on Super Boxing and make like $12 to $15 million. That's what he's gonna do. But they better have resources. Yeah, I don't know what the point of that is. But yeah, shout out to everybody here rocking with me, man. Fuck. All right, I'm honestly, guys, I'm gonna go like 10 more minutes. I'm gonna wrap this up. I can't go 2 hours. This is ridiculous. It's like 2 in the morning. I gotta get some sleep. But give me your thoughts, guys. Give me your thoughts. I'll try to push it. We'll see how far I can push it. Nah, man, Shakur, and I hate how this whole live is turned into Shakur, but bro, Shakur not fighting Oshaki Foster is the second softest thing in boxing right now. And I said soft because it is soft. It was number one until a couple days ago when Keyshawn Davis pulled out the Devin Haney the go purse bid. You know, now that's the softest thing in boxing. But Shakur Stevenson not fighting Oshaki Foster is the softest thing in boxing because you said, and I quote, Raymond Ford is your worst nightmare. Fight Raymond Ford and I'll give you opportunity. He fights Raymond Ford. He literally threw his ass out the ring like a piece of trash, like Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Royal Rumble, and then he outboxed him quite comfortably. And you got in the ring and you yelled and you screamed and you made a big scene. And when push come to shove, you done ran over to the G League of Boxing, Zuffa Boxing, and now you don't want to fight him. You don't want to fight the guy that everybody wants to see you fight with Devin as well. You know, people get mad if I bring up Zepeda, but you're not fighting the other guys that you're supposed to fight, right? So at some point in time, people just gotta call it what people gotta compartmentalize and call it what it is. He is very talented. He's very accomplished. He's an awesome fighter. He is one of the best fighters in the world. But Shakur Stevenson is also like he's a diva. That's what I'm saying. He gave his word. It doesn't matter if you think Shocky Foster's small or he wouldn't win or Shakur's muscular. It don't matter. It does not matter. I mean, listen, he said it. He said it, champ. I'm just holding him accountable because God knows if, like, let's just say hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, God knows if, let's say that was Angelo Leo. If Angelo Leo told Ramon Cardenas, go go beat go beat Omar Trinidad, I'll give you opportunity. God knows if that was the situation, you know, and all that played itself out, you guys be in my chat 25-8 telling me, hey, BT, tell your boy this, tell your boy that. I'm just treating it how you guys would treat me if I was in that scenario, you know? I mean, do something. Do something, man. How is there 47 people in the chat? Because this is a global channel. That's what I really realize is, like, there's probably people in here from other parts of the world that are not America. Like, there's probably people in, England or Europe or Japan. And if you are, make yourself known. I have a pretty global audience, so that's why I can go live. And I don't consider 46 a lot. I'm actually happy that there's 46, but it's not a ton of people. But shout out to everybody here. We just here talking, and I'm running on fumes, but it don't matter. It don't matter because I have responsibilities. Gotta do this. Hello? Oh Lord. Can y'all see me? Guys, can you still see me? Okay, good. Okay. Hold on. What the hell's going on? Oh, the internet went out on the computer, but not the phone. Okay. Hold on, man. This is bullshit. It's messing up my whole flow right now. Everybody who can challenge his skill set, they say they're his brother. Yeah, I'm saying, man, like there's truth in a lot of things people say. My man Paulie said, hold on, why is the screen small? Why the hell did the screen get so damn small? Hold on, man. This is bullshit. Anyway, my man Paulie says all these guys talking about Espinosa like he's really about. I gotta bring this shit up here because the screen got all small. Like he's really about the action more than Leo or something. I mean, look, I've talked about that a lot. People. I'm trying not to talk about the featherweights too much right now because I really I'm tired of talking about the featherweights like until they unify. I mean, Gary Jonas did have some good news that we dropped on the channel earlier. Apparently, Angelo, the Pro Box TV is targeting an Angelo Leo return date of October 9th or 10th in Albuquerque. And then should he win that tune-up fight, it's going to lead straight into a Bruce Carrington unification fight in January. So that is good news, but I feel like I've talked about it enough. But yeah, people make out Espinosa like he's this killer because he's tall and he beat one of the most overrated champions in boxing, or basically Ramirez. But we know what it is. Yo, hold on. What the fuck? Matan said, "I'd rather watch Angel." Yes, me too, champ. But that's pretty much Angela. That's me. That's pretty much the case of every other fighter because that's my favorite fighter. Um, the media and fans are acting like beating Tio was a crazy feat when a few fights ago everyone thought Tio lost to Sandor Martin. Yeah, yeah. Like they make it seem like that he beat Tio coming off a Lomachenko one or something like that. It was a good one. I can't take away from it. He beat outclassed them, but yeah, I'm with you, champ. Oh my god. You guys have no idea. It's gonna be bad. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Man, what the hell is going on with this internet? Hold on. Cause I got what I normally do, guys, is I got the because like it's weird when you click the comments on StreamYard on the phone, it's weird, and I normally have my computer on to click the comments because it's easier that way. So let me fire that back up real quickly, so we can do this easier. But it's True School in the AM. There we go. Finally, okay, finally. So I know I missed quite a few comments. Well, no, listen, man. Cyrus, he's one of the best fighters in the world. He's a 4 division champ. When you're one of the best, everyone's in the car your name because you're one of the best. That just is what it is. You know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. If you can't hold the crown squarely on your head, then hey, I guess you shouldn't be wearing it in the first place. You understand? Who's my favorite fighter? My favorite fighter and favorite fight of all time were both great questions. My favorite fighter of all time is Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, and my favorite fight of all time is Riddick Bowe versus Evander Holyfield, #1. You know, for sure. And it's been that way for a long time. Like, neither one of those two things have changed. I was a big fan of Roman Gonzalez just because I love his volume punching, and I love how he was able to transition from offense to defense, his balance. Like, one of my favorite fights to go back and watch for fun is Roman Gonzalez versus Brian Valoria. Like, just the way he would change the speed of his punches, the cadence of his punches, um, everything. Just A+ fighter. Yeah, talk to him, Josh. Talk to him. Yeah, they're gonna find out in harsh fashion. I can't wait. I cannot wait. God's timing is perfect. I can't wait. BT gives more love to guys on the featherweight than anyone in boxing media. Well, I mean, I thoroughly enjoy those weight classes. It's not even just about me. I actually enjoy those weight classes. I enjoy all the weight classes, but I definitely enjoy those weight classes because there's a lot of great, awesome fighters there. I like speed. I like angles. I like things like that, and you tend to see those kind of things in those weight classes. So that's probably why I enjoy it so much. I always wanted to ask you, who do you consider the greatest heavyweight of all time if you go by peak? If you go by peak, the greatest heavyweight, I mean, it's a great question. Obviously, you could say now you could say Muhammad Ali, but then of course the people are going to say, well, we never saw his peak because he lost time due to him getting him sitting out because of the war. But I'll say Ali. You see, Joe Louis. I mean, to me, Joe Louis is the best. Joe Louis is the best heavyweight of all time, for sure. Um, but yeah, Ali, Joe Louis, George Foreman. Funny enough, guy that doesn't get mentioned enough is Vitaly Klitschko. I feel like Vitaly Klitschko was a beast. Peak Vitaly was special. Vici, who impressed you this year as a fighter? What was the best fight, and who was the one to watch out for? Who's impressed me this year as a fighter? William Zepeda. We'll start. Let's go with him. I was genuinely impressed with the adjustments and tweaks that he made to his style to win this fight. I was impressed with him. I was impressed with who else was I impressed with? I was impressed with Dave Benavidez when he fought Zotto, the way he beat him up. Um, I was impressed with Abdullah Mason fighting Arabelle on short notice. I was impressed with um Who else was I impressed? I was impressed with Oshaki Foster, the way he was able to tame Raymond Ford. Um, oh, you know what? Scratch everything I just said. I'll tell you who I was impressed with. I was impressed with Alan Chavez. That's actually probably the guy that impressed me the most this year, because I mean, before he fought Miguel Madueno, I remember a lot of you guys in the chat were saying, "BT, what do you think about Alan Chavez? Alan Chavez, Alan Chavez." You know, I didn't get a chance to watch him, so then I watched about Madueno, and this is back when I was in camp with Angelo, so that was back when I was actually training and sparring. And he's a southpaw, I'm a southpaw, so I watched him. I watched this guy punch right through Madueno, and this boy had me fired up, ready to go to the gym. Like, he was it was that was really impressive, and that's part of my knockout of the year personally. Best fight, um, shit, a lot of good fights. God, I'm so tired right now. What's the best fight? What's the best fight this year? Which fight did I really, really enjoy? I can't think of that one right now, champ. Name some fights, and I'll tell you if I think it was the best fight. The one to watch out for, Yugo Osaki, the future face of Japanese boxing. That's the one to watch out for at 108 pounds. Yeah, well, what's funny about Bam is Bam was ignored for a lot of years. Like, for example, I just interviewed Michael Angeletti recently, and people don't know who he is, and they say, "Who is this guy?" And guess what, guys? I remember going to the Romo Gonzalez Calia firefight in 2020. Bam fought on the undercard. Nobody cared. Nobody gave a fuck about Bam Rodriguez. That is a fact. That is stone cold honest truth. So I mean, it's like that most of the time in the light weight categories. I mean, we got to see, man. We got to see if he's really like that. I saw Moses doing a lot of whining and complaining when Hila Hrgovic started questioning his dedication to the sport of boxing. You don't know me. You don't know me. So we'll see. It, objectively speaking, you know, Hrgovic is my guy. I'm not gonna hide that from you guys. That is my guy. Like, I've literally sat down, I've had lunch with the guy, talked about life. But all that aside, let's point out the obvious. He cuts easier than he did early in his career. His speed has declined, and he's older. So they picked him for those reasons. They're banking on those things, and they're banking on Moses' youth and his firepower being enough to overcome all those things I just mentioned. However, what I don't think Frank Warren and Queensberry have taken into account is his level of experience, is his level of being able to land a straight right hand on a freaking southpaw. Um, and if Moses does not exploit that speed advantage to the highest order in the first 3 to 4 rounds, we're gonna find out some things about Moses, and they may not be things you want to find out about him. I don't gotta accept anything. You have to prove it. I want a lot of you guys to accept that Andrew Leo is the best featherweight in the world, and y'all don't accept it. And he's shown more evidence of that than Moses being the next big thing at heavyweight. So, we just can't have we can't have what we want, champ. Got to prove it. We're gonna see, champ. I mean, let's see if let's see how Moses reacts if he gets clipped upside the head with a right hand. I want to see that. He might get beat up in front of all of his friends and family. It might be the next Ollie Harrison for all we know. You just don't know how it goes in boxing until the fights happen. All you guys are calling Hamza Shiraz this big killer, and thank you, Paulie, for bringing this up. All of y'all were talking all this Hamza Shiraz shit about him being this killer, him being this, him being that, and I told you all he's not like that. And then he fought my boy Simon from Germany, and he damn near lost to Simon from Germany. Majority decision. So they got to fight the fights. I've been telling y'all Hamza ain't like that, and even today, like Rick Laser, man. Rick knows his boxing. I love Rick. It was great seeing Rick today. If you haven't seen the Rick Laser interview, the first ever in-person Rick Laser interview on True School Sports after all these years, I talked to Rick about that fight again because we haven't talked about it since the Simon fight, and he still says Hamza's going to beat Diego, and I'm trying to let him. I'm trying to tell him. I'm trying to tell Rick that boy ain't like that. He's cool. He's a good little fighter, but he's not messing with Diego Pacheco. Um, I would agree with you. But my only thing is like it's a common theme in his career when Adames is a mover and a counterpuncher. Couldn't really find the range there. Simon, same thing. Edgar, before he got really hit the first time, when Edgar was boxing Hamza, Edgar was having his way with Hamza the first, 2 rounds or something like that. He can't handle guys that can box, move, turn them, make them reset. He can't. He's limited. That's why Hamza, even with him being tall, he's not comfortable as a tall man leading the exchange. He needs you to be in the pocket, and he needs you to exchange with him. If you don't do that with him, you beat him, and that's why Pacheco's going to beat him. It's really that simple. Me too. Me too. I was that afternoon when they fought that afternoon. I was dreading. I'm like, man, they got Hamza fighting just this no name can from Germany that no one's heard of, and he's gonna knock him out. And Ring Magazine's gonna post this clip like 500 times across all their social media platforms, and then all the casual boxing fans that follow Ring Magazine are gonna be brainwashed into thinking that Hamza's this killer, like they've been getting brainwashed. And I'm gonna have to come here and tell you guys that Hamza ain't like that. But then instead of that happening, Hamza decided to show you guys he wasn't like that, you know. And I hate talking this way about him. Like he seems like a nice guy. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. It's just it's insane. Yeah, and I mean, look. I'm not saying Pacheco beat Shiraz because of the last performances. I don't judge boxing that way most of the time. I try not to. Style wise, it's a bad matchup for him. He's fought at a higher level in terms of his pedigree in the amateurs. Even in the pros, I feel like if okay, Hamza fought Adames, Diego hasn't fought anybody as good as Adames, but if you look at the rest of the resume, I thought Diego's fought better competition, body work wise, like depth wise, he's got more depth in his resume than Hamza Shiraz. I don't really think it is, to be honest with you. Like everybody's like, why are we doing this? Why like Moses is a very dynamic talent, but then like I'm telling y'all, if Hergovich freaking humiliates this guy and snatches his heart in front of all his friends and family in the UK, I don't want y'all turning your back on Moses. I still like Moses. I think he's a good young kid. He can come back strong, but I don't view it that way. I don't view it that way. Moses ain't done enough for it to bit me. He hasn't done anything for me to view it that way. Man, and you know what, Cyrus? If Hergovich beats Moses, I'm gonna cry too. I'm gonna cry tears of joy, because really, if you want to just keep it all the way 100, Philip Hergovich shouldn't even be fighting Moses. It's actually kind of bullshit that he's fighting Moses. Philip Hergovich has earned his stripes in the division. Um, he should either be fighting Gaji Kabayel for the WBC, or he should be getting his rematch with Daniel Dubois for the world title, because when he fought Daniel Dubois, he was cheated by the referee, because that boy was launching his head into Hergovich the whole damn fight. There was no policing of the headbutt tactics, and he wound up getting stopped because of the cuts which were caused by the headbutts. And then if you go and you watch the Joshua fight, the minute he tried that shit in the Joshua fight, they started policing the headbutts in the Joshua fight. So it's like I will like. I hate I'm excited for the Moses fight because I'm gonna go to the fight. It's a great excuse for me to go to England. I like Moses. I'm a big fan of Moses. I'm a big fan of Hergovich. It's my guy. But really, the fight is kind of bullshit if you think about it. They're just trying to get Hrgovic out of the way because they don't care about him. Diego is not that guy like I hear. He's better than Hamza. I'll tell you that. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, that's like right now, right? That's like if, I don't know, name any fighter who got a big knockout. They were still going like a year later. Like, bro, Berlanga is supposedly not that good, and you're still talking about it. Like, move on. You did your thing. It was a great performance. People enjoyed it. We gave you your credit, but you got to keep proving yourself, champ. That's what I'm saying. Like, this might be a wild statement, but I don't care. I think it's a true statement. Let me see. Let me think this through. So I will say, outside of Usyk, Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury, there is no heavyweight in the entire division more experienced than Filip Hrgovic, more with more pedigree than Filip Hrgovic. There isn't. Maybe you could say Joseph Parker. We'll say Joseph Parker, but like Hrgovic beat him in the amateurs. Yeah, I do. I do, but I don't really care about that fight. Let's just get it over with and like Ryan win the damn fight. It's a celebration whenever a non-American heavyweight gets eliminated. Whenever a non-American heavyweight gets eliminated, like I mean, to be fair, bro, for the last like 20 years, the division has been dominated by non-Americans. This ain't been Americans have not been a factor in heavyweight boxing since like I'm talking about more than one at a time since like Holyfield and Tyson and Lennox Lewis. Like we've been dog shit in the heavyweight division for like more than a quarter century now. I mean, we get a Shannon Briggs, we get a Lamont Brewster, we get a Deontay Wilder, but other than that, we get a Chris Bird. But like other than that, it's been a pretty dog shit quarter century for the Americans heavyweight. And the way it's looking now, we ain't not gonna have an American heavyweight for a while, unless Joshua Edwards is the truth. And I like Joshua Edwards, and I hope and I do really genuinely wish him well. But I mean, I don't know. Oh my god, that'd be sick. You know what's funny? One thing most people don't know about Phil Hrgovic is that I mean, he loves American heavyweights. One of Phil Hrgovic's favorite heavyweights is Riddick Bowe. And I remember when he used to train at Mundo Boxing Gym. I used to go down there all the time. He used to always wear this red USA shirt. So deep down, maybe Philip Hrgovic is an honorary American. He's gonna do it for us. He's gonna eliminate this Slovakian Brit. Get him out of here. No, I agree. I agree. I think Buddy McGirt's gonna continue to tighten some things up with him, and he's not a finished product. I'm not saying here saying that Diego Pacheco is this and he's that. Like I like him. I'm high on him, but yeah, we got to see more for sure. I'm with you. Like he still doesn't even throw his right hand the best. Like his right hand mechanics aren't even where they should be yet. That's crazy. Like I don't know how I'm awake right now. Like about 10 minutes ago, I genuinely felt like I was about to pass out, but now I'm genuinely awake, y'all. I don't know what y'all asked. I don't know what y'all asked me to get me wide awake, but I'm wide awake because you guys. So shout out to everybody here. It's your boy BT, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Make sure you smash the like button. This is the immediate aftermath of Zepeda versus Roach. But if you got anything to ask that's boxing and or non-boxing related, you go ahead and you ask them questions. Rick Glazer says Philip Hrgovic stands no chance. That's not true. He stands a chance. This is the same Rick Glazer that said that. I mean, I like Rick. You know, Rick knows his boxing. I'm not gonna downplay Rick, but Rick ain't always right. Even though he may think he's always right, he's not always right. You know, I've seen Rick say some things about guys in the featherweight division that aren't true. I'm just saying, what's gonna happen? Like, what's gonna happen if Mosley Talma gets clipped on the dome, or as many of you guys say Philip Hergovich punches behind the head. So okay, let's just say, Philip Hergovich punches him behind the head, and the referees ruled a knockdown, and Moses on the canvas, and everyone's been telling Moses that he's the next Mike Tyson. And what if, like, talking real for a second, what if we discover in that fight that Mosley Talma, for all the skills that he does have and for all the talent he does have, what if we find out that deep down there's some bitch in him? You know, you don't know. You don't know till you know. Now, one thing about it is with Philip Hergovich, you can say Moses is faster and he's more youthful and this, that, and the third. One thing we know about him, because we've seen him go through the fire time and time again against other top credible heavyweights, there's not an ounce of bitch in Philip Hergovich. That's what we can say. That's what's factual. Hergovich is what Makhmudov. Oh my God, Makhmudov is trash. Makhmudov is sorry. I mean, he can wrestle a bear, like, with the best of them. You know, if you ain't seen the video of Makhmudov wrestling a bear, it's insane. But when it comes to being these top level heavyweights, he has no inside game, no gas tank. Murataya, I mean, I've never thought the highest of Murataya. He's just kind of there. He's just one of them guys that I know. I know he's a quality fighter, but I don't really rate him as highly as the top ranked matchmakers. And I think he's kind of mid. So it was expected. Zepeda, I actually had no problem with it. I didn't think that Zepeda or Roach were going to get a stoppage, but I was very impressed with Zepeda's performance because of the craft he showed, because of the things that he was doing to break the rhythm of Lamont Roach. One of the most impressive performances anybody's had at the championship level all year, for sure, in my opinion. But Murataya, that's to be expected. No, you got it messed up. I like Moses. I've said after the Jermaine Franklin fight. If you go back, you watch my Jermaine Franklin post fight review video. I think I said Moses is the most talented fighter in boxing under 23 years old or something like that. I think Moses is going to be a champion. I think Moses is phenomenal. But you know what I don't like? I just don't like it in boxing when people start anointing a guy. I've seen it too many times. I see it all the time. The next this, the next that. And is he talented? Of course. He ain't been really punched dead in his shit yet. We don't really know. Like, we know he's talented. We know he's fast. We know he can punch. We know he's light on his feet. But does he have any bitch in him? Like, respectfully, obviously Moses is all. None of these fighters are bitches. They're all tough. They're all warriors, right? But you know what I mean. Like, will he be the kind of guy that gets frustrated and looks for the way out when things don't go his way? Everything's went his way so far. Perfect opponents, perfect matchmaking. Everyone's telling him he's great. He's better than Mike Tyson at 21. All that stuff. So when things don't go his way, we will see what he is made of. That's all. And that's not just a Moses thing. That's a fighter development thing. I'm like that with all fighters. He gonna be champion though. I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't know if it'll be Phil Hergovich, but he'll be champion at some point. It's very hard to punch Moses dead in this shit. I mean, for the guys he's fought so far, yeah, those guys who are not world level fighters, it has been hard. It's been very difficult. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what that defense is like, because he's gonna fight one of the guys that's the best in the division that's sending up his right hand. He's got a big speed advantage, so he better exploit it early. Because if you give Hergovich a couple of rounds to see what's coming at him, you're gonna be in trouble. That's what I'm saying. That's it. Michael Grant back in the '90s was knocking everybody out. He got found out. Ollie Harrison won a gold medal. He got found out. You know what I mean? Uh, what was that guy's name? The Mexican guy that was supposed to be like the next 5 division champion for Panchito Francisco Bojado. Remember him? Like the 2000s, he was supposed to be like the next big thing for Mexican American boxing. He wasn't shit. So you never know until you know. He says is anointing a guy is kind of fun. It's my first time. It is fun. I've done it before. It's fun. You know, I mean, I shouldn't really be saying anything. I'm telling y'all about Yugo Osaki being the face of Japanese boxing in the post Naoya Inoue era. So I'm as guilty of it as anybody else. He ain't listen. He ain't fought nobody worth half a damn, half a fucking the pros. If I'm being honest, but I've seen him in the gym. I've seen him spar like 20 times, and I know him really well, and I know the 108-pound division pretty damn well. And I like him against all the guys there, and I think he's got the frame to fight as high as 118. So I think he'll be a three or four division champ. But again, he ain't really proven shit against no competition, so it's the same thing with him. That shit's rampant on the YouTube streets, glorifying fighters that haven't proven themselves against top level competition. Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool to talk about guys when they first come out, because people don't like to people on YouTube talk about the same 3 to 5 names. Like how many times can I don't know about I can't speak for other channels, but for me, I can't talk about Devin and Shakur and Tank and who else and Boots and I can't talk about the same 5 fighters all the time. I can't. It's boring. He said, "I can't wait till I go on the boxing conversation and people start crashing out over Moses. LOL, foolishness is gonna warm up." I mean, eventually he'll be big enough to do that. And look, listen. Part of me is going to the UK to watch this fight. Of course, I'm going there to support my friend Philip Hergovich and see a great heavyweight fight. And I know he's up against it, but I know he's got the capabilities and the mental fortitude to come to the fight and win. But part of me is like, man, I want to see, man, is it really true? Is this kid that special? I want to see this shit in person, live in the flesh. So that's what I'm gonna go do. Um, Murataya is not a knockout puncher. Robert Garcia pushes him like he's a monster. Yeah, I don't. Man, what is he though? Like, I don't want to say I hate the guy because I don't like when he's not fighting. I don't think about him. I'm serious. Like when even when people mention him in unifications, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like I don't think about him. He's not exciting to me. But nah, he's a technical fighter. He's a technical fighter, and at 140 pounds, where guys punch harder, he's going to be more of a technical fighter. I mean, Muratai kind of is a kill puncher. He hasn't gotten started lately. He's one of these guys in the 70%. Yeah, but you gotta look at the styles he's fighting when he gets these knockouts. Like for example, he didn't stop Andy Cruz. That's a mover. He didn't stop Robertson Consental. That's a mover. He didn't stop Zolani Ndengeni. He's kind of a swarmer slash mover. Tevin Farmer didn't stop him. He's a mover. Of recent note, one of the only guys he's really stopped is Diego Torres, who is literally a flat-footed, come forward Mexican gunslinger. So, yeah, he's got a high knockout ratio. I'll give him that. But certain styles are taking him the distance every single time. That's what I'm saying. You can't anoint these guys before they've done anything, and then you see like it all. Even if they do prove to be the goods, because we as the boxing fans anoint them so early, when they actually prove anything, they start becoming like kind of like divas, like Shakur and Devin, or like these guys. Mainly Shakur though, not Devin. Devin, He's all right with me. Like, you tell these guys they're great so much, and then they win and they do some great things, and then it's like now they feel they don't gotta do anything. No, let's not do that, because then these guys will start feeling like they don't gotta do anything. Part of the reason why Shakur Stevenson acts how he acts, it's my fault, and it's everyone in this chat's fault who's ever said that nobody beats him and that he's great and that he's the next Mayweather. Like, it's just as much of our fault as it is his, because if he's hearing this shit all the time, you're a human being. You're gonna believe your own hype at some point. I don't care how humble you think you are. You know? Did I see Rick Regan at the fight today? No, I didn't. And if he was there, I'm surprised, because I went to go interview Rick Glazer at the Virgin Hotel lobby, and while I was there, I sat in the Virgin Hotel bar in the lobby for like probably 4 hours, because I interviewed Rick Glazer there, Eric Gomez, and Gary Jonas, and then I edited all those videos, and then I uploaded them, and then I clipped every single short for the interview, for each interview right there. So that took some time. And man, I seen Mauricio Suleiman take like 6 meetings in this damn bar. I saw Mauricio Suleiman meet with Eric Gomez. I saw Suleiman meet with Gary Jonas and a bunch of other people, in the bar. So I'm kind of shocked that I didn't see him there. Oh no! Listen, I've seen it. I like Moses. I've been on the Moses train before most people even talked about. I think the first video I made about Moses was in 2023, and a lot of these channels weren't even talking about Moses in 2023. So trust me, I like Moses. I respect Moses. I mean, look, it says a lot about how exciting he is. The fact that I'm gonna go fly my ass and probably inconvenience myself in some ways I shouldn't to go watch him fight Philip Hergovich in the UK. So that right there is the ultimate respect I can give a fighter. I'm gonna go fly to Europe. I don't want to go to Europe. I want to go to Japan. What I want to go to Europe for? You know? Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy what happened to him. I was shocked. But that's boxing for you. Again, I know he's not as hyped up as Moses, but look, Oscar De La Hoya was an Ariel Helwani show saying this kid is the Mexican American superstar, and boom, now he's exposed. So it happened that fast, champ. It's these reports' fault. It's this reporter's fault. That's why if I act the way they do, because nobody gives pushback and holds them accountable to the words they speak. That's not true. You got guys like myself. You got guys like Sean Tatel and Radio Raheem back in the day. Like there's plenty of great reporters out there. It's just that either A, when those reporters do it, they don't get the fanfare they should, and or B, when they do hold fighters accountable, said fighters dick riding fans get all mad and pissy and accuse them with being, a hater or racist or all kinds of things. So that's not true. But I would say there is a lot of fanboyism in boxing media, that's for sure. I don't think I mean, if he can make it healthily, sure. But personally, I don't think he can healthily make it. You got to be careful with pro boxing at 17. Shit in America, the level don't get no higher than here. It's true. It's true. And look what happened. He wasn't even on that high of a level, and he got knocked out. Stars and stripes shit is different. BT, you didn't say exposed because I can't right now. Can't yell that out right now. But exposed. And I'm tired as hell. I can't yell it out because of where I'm at, and I'm tired. y'all trying to get me to talk crazy about these reporters. The UFC fighters aren't as bad, and look at their medal. Well, I listen, man. If you on the East Coast right now and you're rocking with me at 5:46 in the morning, I listen. Love and respect, love and respect, because it's 2:46 here on the West Coast. I don't know how I'm up. Like this is an act of God. This is like the spirit is regenerating, and I'm just here. That's crazy, but good to be here. I'm gonna get. You know what? We won't. I told y'all I'm gonna give y'all the honest 2 hours. I told y'all 2 hours. I'm giving y'all 2 hours. Um, I'm a man of my word. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. How are you gonna say that? You had Sean Zettel literally press Dana White in person about the Muhammad Ali Act, right? In front of during Terrence Carver Canelo's press conference, so that's not true. And then you've had fighters like, let's say, I don't know, Richard Hitchens press me about things I've said in videos. Raymond Ford pressed me about things I've said in videos. Who else? I mean, there's plenty of examples I could give you, but you're wrong. You're wrong. And then see y'all don't even know what y'all be talking about because you guys just see what goes on video. Y'all don't realize that there's plenty of shit that doesn't get spoken about, you know, on camera. There's plenty of run-ins that happen and things that happen with promoters and managers and fighters that we don't speak about on here, you know, because we spoke our mind and we held guys accountable, but y'all don't see that. So, yeah, like how you gonna say that? How you gonna say that? And you literally had my dad back in May press Keyshawn out the like Keyshawn Davis ran up out of there. My dad told him he told Keyshawn, you ain't gonna fight Shakur Stevenson. How do you sleep at night knowing that you're not fighting the best? And Keyshawn told my dad with millions on my bank account. And then him and DB3 dipped out of there because they didn't want to deal with Pops. And then what's his name? Dorset Barnwell and them guys came and tried to talk to my dad and make a big thing. And nah, man, there's plenty of examples. Y'all just don't like giving credit. There's examples that are I just named you two examples. I said Sean with Dana White, Pops with Keyshawn Davis just 3 months ago on this channel, me with Hitchens, me with Raymond Ford. Does Angelo need a fight to get the rust off? Personally, I would rather. I mean, I like it. I think it's good. I think it's more of a it's better than just going into a fight off of a 16-month, 17-month layoff or whatever it's going to be, because he hasn't fought since last May against Kameda. That's not his fault, but I'm cool with it. Yeah, I'm cool with it. Get active again, get a win, get some hype going again, and then go into the vacation fight. I'm not even on. I'm not even. The funny thing is, I haven't even had a drop of coffee. I literally had some. I had some fried chicken and some Dr. Pepper and some rice, and I came on here, and I went live. Richardson Hitchens and me after Gustavo Lemos fight. Hitchens got mad because I made a video prior to the Lemos fight, and I said that Lemos was going to be a tough fight for him, and he didn't like that because he thought Lemos wasn't shit, and he started pressing me about it in person. There's that, that's on the channel. You can go look it up. But even then, you only name 12 people. Look how many people you're talking about, though. The sport in general don't hold these men to the words, especially reporters and commentators. Well, look, I can't speak for everybody. Listen, man. It's 1:38 in the morning. I can't think of every reporter right now. I'm barely awake. Okay. All I'm saying is, for you to say, oh well, nobody holds these guys accountable. Plenty of guys get held accountable. Plenty of people are doing great job reporting. What's that girl's name? What the hell is that girl's name? Amber Dixon. She's not even a boxing, like she does boxing, but she's like a what is she on, like CBS here in Vegas? She pressed the shit out of Dana White about the Ali Act, because I do these lives after the fight, and it's just a personal thing for me. Yeah. No, of course, of course. I mean, look, man, I'm not gonna throw any of my colleagues under the bus. I got love, I got respect for everyone, but there are reporters that are playing what they call the access game, where they're gonna toe that line, and they're gonna be as PC as possible, because they feel like, and they fear that if they say the wrong thing, they'll get their credential stripped, or these kind of things. And that's their cross to bear. That's how they want to operate. That's not how I operate. And it's crazy because, with all due respect to the promoters and things like that, I'm very appreciative that they allow me to cover these fights. But I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like they give us like the they get there's a lot. How do I explain this to you guys? How do I explain this to you guys? Being half asleep, they give the reporters a lot less to work with in terms of access to the fighters and things like that. And it's not even like if you're gonna play that game, the access game, which I don't think you should, but if you are, it's not even worth it anymore. To be honest with you, if you are gonna play that game. Salute BT. We need Mason versus William next. I'll love it. I would absolutely love it. Good to see you, Cassius. Boxing, the Wild Wild West, and people criticize the independent media for not holding people accountable. Facts. It's the Wild Wild West. And then what's crazy? Do you know how many of the independent media in boxing have been offered jobs with Saudi Arabia be bought off? Like, that's a thing too. I mean, Devin Haney literally quote tweeted me like 3 months ago and said that I don't know shit about boxing, because he's probably mad that I I picked Brian Millman Jr. against him. Right? He's still mad about that. You know. But then he's also retweeted me, and then the other day he just liked one of my tweets. So these fighters are moody. I've been in camps with fighters, and I know a lot of fighters, so I know how they are. So I don't take offense to it. Someone that I thought I would have an issue with, believe it or not, Stephen, no, not Stephen Paulson, probably Raymond Ford. I met Raymond Ford in person 3 times. We were going back and forth, going into the Komatov fight a lot, because I was the only person in the media really talking about the fight before it happened, and he was taking offense to everything I was saying. And he won his fight, and then I saw him after. He was cool. He was cool. Um, I thought Tank. I used to think from afar like Tank was gonna be a certain way, and people have their opinions in him, but I've had good experiences with Tank. I'll tell you somebody that I thought was gonna be cool in person, but actually wasn't as cool as I thought they would be, and it wasn't a fighter, but it was Michael Buffer. Yeah, Michael Buffer for sure. I thought Michael Buffer was gonna be cool and nice, and he was kind of snooty. To be honest with you, like, and it's okay because I've always been more of a Jimmy Lennon Jr. guy anyway. And when you meet Jimmy Lennon Jr. in real life, like he's so cool. Cause Shakur, man, Shakur is just he's full of it, man. Great, awesome talent, exceptional talent, just but he's full of it. I mean, he's made a lot of money. I mean, I watched the whole documentary on Buffer, like when about how he came up with the whole "Let's get ready to rumble" phrase, and basically, like every time he says that phrase, he gets like a couple million or at least an M. It's at least an M. Every time you hear Michael Buffer say at an event, "Let's get ready to rumble," that's like an M or more, probably more in his bank account. I met him twice, and both times I met him, he was just kind of like snooty, and I don't know. Maybe I caught him on bad days. I mean, I don't want to demean the guy, but he wasn't cool like my boy Jimmy Lennon Jr., who I've always liked more than Buffer anyway. Like I thought Jimmy Lennon Jr. was better at his job than Buffer. Like I get more hype when I hear his voice than when I hear Buffer's voice. um, I wouldn't say beef, but I mean run-ins. I mean, yeah, you can say run-ins, but I'm not gonna talk about that shit. Fuck the boxing content creators that I had any sort of disagreements with, like, fuck them. I'm not worried about them, and they ain't worried about me. So last 8 minutes, guys, and I'm gonna get up on out of here. I have always preferred Jimmy Lennon Jr. He can speak in multiple languages, and I think he has the best. Oh, it's not even close. It's not even close. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is the GOAT. Truth be told, I don't know if y'all pay attention to how many videos I make. Like I make a lot of content because I really enjoy it, and I want to cover as much boxing as I can. I don't got time or energy to worry about what these other people are doing. Like I really don't, and I don't. I literally watch less than 5 channels in the whole sport of boxing on a regular basis, and I don't even watch their videos as much as I want to because I'm busy. When you're busy, you don't got time. What did Floyd say? Floyd Mayweather said, "You get to where you want to get to in life by being on a parallel path, being single, like you being focused." So if I'm over here worrying about this random channel who just wants to make videos about me because he doesn't have any creativity of his own, or some guy that says something bad about me because he just angry at the world because of how his life is, like that's none of my business. My business is making this boxing content and covering the sport at the highest level. You know, we're not worried about those guys. Other than in a way, is there an Asian dude who is coming up that we still got for? Yes, Yugo Osaki, light flyweight. He's like 10-0, 10-0 with I think 7 or 8 knockouts. Um, future world champion, future 3, possibly even 4 division champion if he really fights up to his potential. It's a hell of a question. It's a hell of a question. End goal. Right now, I wouldn't say there's an end goal. There's things I want to get done in a couple of years, but I'll keep those to myself. Right now, I'm just trying to get to 100K, and just you know what the end goal is. You know what the end goal is, man. Just to enjoy what the hell it is I'm doing. Cause I feel like there's been many years where I wasn't like I was here, I was doing my thing, but I wasn't fully enjoying it like I am right now. So we'll see where it takes us. It's taking us to Japan, it's taking us to Nicaragua, it's taking us to England. It took us to world title training camps. It's taking us all kinds of places. Who knows where it takes us? But we just enjoy what we're doing. BT is a very important man. He owns leather bound books. His apartment. No, man. I'm just a kid from Daniel, champ. Calm down. Calm down, man. I think independent media figures and bodies can come together to form their own media network and compound on each other's network. Yeah, it could be a thing. Could be a thing. But everybody's oh, everybody kind of just does their own thing. What do I think about Pacheco and Iglesias? I think it's a good fight. I think Pacheco could beat him too. But I think that fight's more dangerous than Hamza. He can that boy Iglesias is punching like that. Iglesias is actually punching like that. He's good. I like Reito. I would say he's definitely in my top five young Japanese fighters. I think I wouldn't have number one. Nope. He'd be like number 3 or 4. He'd be behind Yugo Osaki. He'd be behind Yuta Sakai, and he'd be behind who else is there from Japan? He's probably like 3 at the highest. I'll say he's like 3 for me. For me, my personal list of like the young guys from Japan. But he's good. Nah, I'm not giving Shakur no credit for that bullshit, bro. If you want to get credit, y'all can give him credit if you want to, but I'm not get. I know Devin fought Ramirez there at 144, but nah, that was before he fought Brian Norman Jr. He hadn't fought at 47 yet, at the full limit of 47. I'm not trying to lie, nah, man. If like you can't be out here calling yourself Pernell Whitaker and all this stuff, and then you want to do bullshit like this when it comes to making a real fight happen with Devin Haney. Nope. Uh. Oh shit. What's up, Kira? What's up? I'm over here in Vegas. Tired as hell. About to go to sleep soon, but good to see you in the chat. Hope all is well with the family. So I like that. I like that, champ. I appreciate that. No, no, no. I'm not fancy. I'm a regular guy. If Adamas is leaving the 160, is only the most skilled or talented middleweight coming up? Right now, it looks like that is the case. But I mean, you got Amari Jones, you got Jahai Tucker. There's still guys that he's got to answer to at some point. But he's in the discussion. I'd say he's top 3 for sure. Well, he doesn't fight often enough. He doesn't fight often enough, and I think the last 3 4 years he's just had problems outside the ring that have really overshadowed any of the little he has done inside the ring. So that's what it is. Why does Hamza Shiraz act like a prima donna now? He got a lucky draw. He lost against Adamas, then that trash performance his last fight, then said he's not motivated and wants a big payday fight. Well, he's acting like a prima donna because Ring Magazine has their hands squarely up his ass because he's a brand ambassador and they're pushing all this propaganda out for him. Then you got people that are saying he's this killer because he beat Berlanga. Then you got Turkey who's like got him as the golden boy. So I mean, it's the boxing community's fault for overrating him. And I like Hamza. I don't got anything against him as a person. I think he seems like a cool guy, but I mean, I don't even want to say that he's acting like a prima donna. I'm not even sure I want to agree with that. All I'll say is that yeah, I've said it enough. He ain't like that killer that you guys act like he is. But Guys, look, we have hit the 2 hour mark. Okay, I am absolutely beat, and it has been a long, tough, exhausting, arduous fight week. I just wanted to come here, pop it right quick, give you guys my 2 hours because that's what I said I'd give you, and I'm a man of my word. So look, I'm gonna get up on out of here. Let's see, what's today? Today's Sunday. So yeah, okay. So the next live probably will not be till Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, Tuesday, probably Wednesday. Let's go on Wednesday. But and there's plenty of content coming out, plenty of videos, things like that. We're gonna be at 92,000 soon. So I really do appreciate all the support, all the success, um, all the love and support I get from you guys. It really does mean the world, and I don't take it for granted. That's why I'm doing these lives, because I don't take this shit for granted, and I want to max it out, you know, if I can. So that being said, look, you guys take care. I'm gonna get some rest. We will see you later.